Your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Access Television.
Hello and thanks for staying with us on Assets Television. Welcome to the news. I am Eugenia Solomon. First, the headlines. Governor Alia preaches peace, urges Benue residents to remain calm. Federal government hands over 64 buses to labor unions. Nigerian soldiers neutralize bandits, seize large cache of ammunition. Now the news in detail. Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia has called on the church to continue preaching the gospel of peace and unity as Nigeria navigates its current challenges.
He made this plea during an interdenominational church service commemorating Nigeria's 64th independence held at the Apostolic Church on Sunday in Makurdi. Earlier, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Deborah Abe, assured the people of good governance through developmental projects and improved welfare. Earlier highlighted ongoing projects and promised to sustain the momentum. Regarding the forthcoming council polls, he urged Benue residents to vote for all Progressive Congress candidates. Chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Bishop Wilfred Anagbe, commended the governor's developmental strides. Anagbe's representative, Reverend Jonathan Ugbede, advised Benue youths to avoid the planned October 1st protest. In his sermon, Reverend Akpe encouraged Nigerians to place their hope in God amidst challenges, citing Isaiah 43 verse 19 to 21. Levi likened Nigeria's situation to the Israelites' wilderness journey, urging trust in God's plan for a better tomorrow. Doris Samuel, Asset TV.
Well, now troops of the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, in collaboration with other security agencies, have intensified operations against illegal oil bunkering in Niger Delta. In a statement, Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations Officer, Lieutenant Colonel Denjuma Jonah Denjuma, said over the past weeks, 11 suspects were arrested, more than 20 illegal bunkering sites were deactivated, and 22 boats used for criminal activities were intercepted. He added that 6 firearms and cartridges were recovered, along with over 118,000 liters of stolen oil products. He said that in Rivers State, multiple operations were conducted, including the dismantling of 4 illegal refineries and the interception of 35,000 liters of stolen products in the Jigama Bile area of the Gema local government area. Similarly, in Karma Bile, troops deactivated 4 illegal refining sites, seizing 14,000 liters of stolen automotive gas oil and 8,000 liters of crude oil. In the Orashi River area, 5,500 liters of condensate were recovered, and 1 suspect was arrested for pipeline vandalism near the Nigerian Agip Oil Company in Ogba Ndoni Ngeba local government area. Denjuma said in Bayelsa State that troops deactivated an illegal refining site in Nembe local government area, confiscating over 30,000 liters of stolen oil. In southern Ijo local government area, the active illegal refining sites were dismantled and 4,500 liters of stolen products were seized. Additional operations in the Tobo, Obotoro, and Aruba creeks recovered over 15,000 liters of illegal refined products and identified illegal pipeline connections near Idu Wellhead. Now, only 1.2% of the 1.65 billion naira allocated to solve Borno State's flooding and erosion problems has been released, according to research by the ICIR. The ICIR gathered this data by reviewing the budget implementation reports of the state for both the first and second quarter of 2024. The BIR document provides insight into what the state government spent in the fiscal year. Borno State allocated 1.6 billion naira for erosion and flood control, which is about 0.35% of its total budget, but only released 20 billion naira in the second quarter of the year. These findings are coming days after floodings had displaced thousands of residents from the Fori, Galtimari, Guani, and Bulabulin areas of Maiduguri. The National Emergency Management Agency said that more than 30 people have died and over 400,000 displaced in the state capital. The ICIR reports that the ravaging flood displaced residents and destroyed their homes, while also displacing animals and the zoo. International bodies like the United Nations and the Nigerian Red Cross Society had called for intervention as the floods might propel the spread of disease. The ICIR had reported how a lack of preparedness in allocating funds and utilization of ecological funds might put several states at risk of flooding following the prediction of NEMA. Findings from query and budget with specific keywords related to flooding showed that a total of 59.16 billion naira was budgeted by the 36 states to address flood and erosion related projects. Borno had one of the highest budget allocations for flooding among other states. The Ogun State Governor Prince Dakpo Abiodun has disclosed that the subsidy on fuel is not curbed, if not curbed, I beg your pardon, by President Bola Tinubu, would have cost the country a whooping 5.4 trillion naira by the end of 2024. Governor Abiodun noted that it would have been disastrous for Nigeria to pay such a huge amount of subsidy on fuel against the federal government's budget of 6.7 trillion naira for the same fiscal year. The governor stated this during the special church service commemorating the 64th National Day celebration held at the Cathedral Church of St. Peter, Ake, Abeokuta. He said the money is now available for the development of infrastructures across the country. Prince Abiodun, while calling on Nigerians to engage the government constructively and not join those fanning the flames of discord, said that protest would not achieve anything other than looting and vandalism of public properties. The governor also disclosed that his administration would continue to implement measures to cushion the effect of the present realities, adding that his administration has deployed CNG buses, started energy transition programs, and with the launching of a key bikes reduced work days for civil servants from 5 to 3 days, and provided free medical services for the poor and the elderly, among other activities. He noted that his administration would soon be complementing its farmers' market across the 4 zones of the state, adding that the state government's Gateway Trading Company, where food items would be sold at wholesale prices, would soon begin operation. If you are just joining us, you are watching the news on Assets Television. We will be back after the short break. Stay with us.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Ascent Television.
Many thanks for staying with us on Assets Television. Now the news continues. Julius Berger Construction Company has appointed a new managing director to manage the affairs of the company. He is Dr. Pierre Lubash, who joined the company in 2010 and has served in various capacities.
Leading engineering construction company Julius Berger Nigeria plc has announced a major change in the constitution of its management, with the current managing director, Engineer Lars Richter, taking a bow as the current chief executive director of Julius Berger International. Dr. Pierre Lubas steps in to succeed him. According to a statement issued and signed by the company secretary, Cecilia Madweke, the decision for the change of guard was taken in a meeting the company's board of directors held on September 25, 2024. She announced that the following decisions were taken: the resignation of engineer Lars Richter as director and managing director of the company at the expiration of his contract of employment on October 15, 2024. Engineer Pierre Lubast, in line with the succession plan for the executive management, was appointed as a director and managing director of the company with effect from October 16, 2024. Richard served as managing director for 6 years, leading the company as CEO. The incoming managing director is a German national who joined Julius Berger in 2010 as technical manager and thereafter held various positions in Julius Berger Group in Germany. As a professional engineer, Lubas has made his mark in some key projects across Nigeria, with the NIS Administrative Building in Nigeria and Link Bridge, Lagos. In Abuja, Samuel Abel, Asset Television.
Nigerian Army says its troops have eliminated 8 terrorists and rescued 40 abducted individuals in a series of coordinated operations across the country. The Army, in a post on its official X handle on Monday, said the recent victories had further tightened the noose around the necks of unrepentant terrorists and other collaborators. The post added that the troops also apprehended a terrorist arms carrier found with a large cache of ammunition, striking a major blow against arms proliferation by criminal elements. According to the Army, troops acting on genuine intelligence on September 28th conducted a strategic stop and search operation along the Lafia-Kefi Road in Nasarawa State. The post also revealed that troops, in an encounter with fleeing terrorists at a village in Magumeri local government area of Borno State, recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, 61 rounds of 7.62 mm, 51 rounds of 7.62 mm ammunition, hard drugs, and various supplies. It said the terrorists abandoned the firearms and ammunition after succumbing to the troops' superior firepower. According to the post, further operations in Goza local government area resulted in the neutralization of 3 terrorists near Ashigashia village, while vigilant troops responding to credible intelligence pursued and intercepted a convoy suspected of transporting logistics of terrorists at Gubio. No fewer than 5 worshippers have died, while others are on admission at the Infectious Disease Center Olodo Ibadan, the Oyo State.
Many of the worshippers who were also affected by the food have been discharged from the center. It was gathered that the incident happened during a service in the church the previous Sunday. The feast, otherwise known as Ipise, is part of the traditional events of the church. A source in the church said it had not been established medically whether the Ipise was responsible for the deaths of the affected victims or not.
Now, spokesperson of opposition lawmakers Ikenga Imogo Chinyere has raised alarm over fresh move by pro-Wike group to use Federal High Court Abuja to secure order stopping October 5th Rivers local government election. He urged the CJN to advise the Federal High Court from Ibadan from being used to undermine the Supreme Court judgment and electoral laws that demand conduct of local government elections without obstruction.
I want to advise the pro-Wike group to stop all these desperations, all aimed at stopping the local government election, which cannot be possible. And I just been informed this evening, just almost 5:30, when the court has already closed. One Chimo and his wife was running around the court, trying to get a suit filed and an expert order granted this evening. Even when they could not perfect the filing, they were shouting, those people filing were shouting in the court, we need it to be sorted out because the judge that will grant the expert is already waiting. So when you hear this kind of thing, They have put an application. By the time the court closed this evening, that case has not gotten a suit number. They have another one that are found at the FCT High Court and another one in the same Federal High Court to stop the allocation that is supposed to be coming to Rivers State. Look at the kind of madness people imagine and draft, that allocation that is supposed to go to the people of Rivers State, a state you are from, should be seized because you want to make sure that the governor does not do anything to destabilize the state in preparation for you to try to see if you can defeat him at the next election, which is an impossible task. So I want to use this opportunity to advise the Chief Judge of Federal High Court Justice. So Nigerians are watching. Every day, per hour, per second, expert applications are being filed, all in favor of Pro-Wike group, assigned to particular judges under your own watch. These are the kind of things that destroy democracy. These are the kind of things that can lead to collapse of democracy. The other day was a judgment they should not be removed. The other day there's another judgment that budget cannot be passed. The other day there was another judgment National Assembly cannot take them over. There's another judgment that the executive of a party that if Congress was held in violation of a court order should be allowed to remain. Then suddenly again another one is being filed just few when the court has even closed in the night for the local government election to be stopped. Even when there's another one that judgment has been reserved for the local government election to be stopped. What is going on at that Federal High Court? So I want to use this opportunity to alert Nigerians of this strange, judicial, abracadabra people are perpetrating all in a bid to have access to public funds which does not belong to them. The local government election in Rivers State will hold on October 3rd. The law, the reset law is simple, the electoral laws are very simple. There's no court order can stop election. Why do we need to drag down at the Federal High Court because of Wike group? Do you want to destroy it completely? Almost over 36 suits there. Full because of one single individual. Is this what Justice So's Federal High Court will be known for? I listened to this Chief Justice of the Federation, CJ. You should start with Federal High Court in any reform you want to do. These things are becoming embarrassing. Court is closing, somebody is filing. Give me a suit number, so that you restrain a local government election. There is a judgment of a Supreme Court that this local government election must be held. When they are held, you can go to court to challenge them. Supreme Court has already given a judgment on it. Even the federal government that they claim to be serving has also issued directives that anybody that doesn't have a democratically elected local government will not receive the LG allocation. And then the Pro-Wike group is running around the Federal High Court to stop that local government election from holding against the directive of their president, against the judgment of the Supreme Court. So let's not undermine the Federal High Court because there is no judgment, there is no order that can stop that election from holding on October 5th. And I want them to hear this very clear. That election will hold on October 5th. The method of conduct of this election in some states have not been pleasant. But as we advance further, we amend them. But this election must hold. So I don't agree to this idea of people keeping quiet and then our Federal High Court is now being used as a place whereby if mosquito bite them in that injunction from the Federal High Court, if their wife does not sleep with the Federal High Court Abuja, we should not allow that to happen. So I want to allow the decision of the Federal High Court of this new strange application that have been filed are being filed at the Federal High Court, even at the close of business, to get an order to stop the local government election from holding and for a judgment that will nullify that local government election from holding. Let's not get involved in things that will continue to undermine and destroy the integrity of the Federal High Court.
Stream Senator Etang Williams has commended management of NATI in its efforts to ensure transparency in Nigeria. He was also being corroborated by Ikenga Ugochinyere, who is chairman of the same committee in the House of Representatives. Senator Williams said NATI deserves support from the National Assembly and Nigerians.
We have rules. We work on what is before us. But I'm here, I'm listening to it, I'll work with the team so that they also take it to the Senate and present to us. We don't work on the vacuum, we work on what we have at hand. So with this and with all the partners and then the agencies being involved, I'll talk with them so that we take it to the Senate and we'll work on it.
The only thing is that there seems to be increased determination to ensure that the reports that comes out from the 80 presentation is implemented. But what has not changed is the losses and liabilities which increasing. The losses in terms of crude production, in terms of non-remittance of revenues, which has also continued to increase. But this year presentation is interesting to me because key stakeholders who are relevant in the implementation we are here today, especially the EFCC, which is helping NETI in recovery, which I'm fully aware. Just like he said, ₦1 billion was also signed off yesterday as part of remittance. But so last year we had over $6 billion in royalties that were not remitted. And this year again, we're also having $6 billion again in non-remittance that have not been remitted to the federation accounts according to NUPRC. And we are still seeing subsidy payment that is rising almost over 4.7 trillion naira. So all these things show that those who are running the oil industry sectors have not been able to increase that expected change that this essence of this NETI report presentation is supposed to help them. So that is why I'm calling on the agencies that are relevant in implementing this report, both from the SGF office, from the EFCC, from the compliance unit of the state oil company to do much. Because you can't tell me that $6 billion, that's almost over 6-7 trillion naira. And we had that last year, and we had it the year before. And they were also having increased subsidy payment and so on and so forth. And also we're having increased crude oil theft issue. And we're spending so much in terms of providing security for production of the crude. So I think that much needs to be done to ensure that the essence of this NETI report presentation is not lost.
The federal government has handed over 64 compressed natural gas buses to representatives of the Trade Union Congress, the Nigeria Labour Congress, and the National Association of Nigerian Students. The handover of the buses took place at the State House Conference Center, Abuja, as part of activities marking Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. Wale Edun, the coordinating minister of the Economy and Finance Wale Edun, the coordinating minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, led the government delegation to the handover ceremony. The delegation included Alhaji Muhammad Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Senator Abubakar Bagudu, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, and Ayodele Olawande, Minister of State for Youth Development. Edun said when deployed for commuter service, the buses would significantly reduce transportation costs in the country, bringing hope for the more affordable and efficient public transport system. He described the distribution of the buses as fulfilling President Bola Tinubu's promise to provide affordable and efficient transportation to support Nigerians after the removal of fuel subsidies under the President Initiative on Compressed Natural Gas. He emphasized that this initiative aimed to alleviate the burden on the poor and vulnerable and support microeconomic reforms that would position the country on the path to economic stability. The minister further explained that the symbolic handover of the 64 buses on the eve of Nigeria's National Day marked the beginning of a broader national rollout. He said the federal government planned to distribute over 500 CNG buses and 100 electric vehicles in the first instance. Nigeria has secured 3 new loans from the World Bank totaling $1.57 billion to improve healthcare, education, and climate resilience. The funds will focus on enhancing services for women, children, and adolescents, while also addressing climate challenges such as floods and drought. The financing package includes $500 million to address governance issues affecting education and healthcare delivery, $570 million for the primary healthcare provision strengthening program, and $500 million for the Sustainable Power and Irrigation for Nigeria project. The statement continues. The Hope Gov and Hope PHC programs combined will support the government of Nigeria to improve service delivery in the basic education and primary healthcare sector, which are critical towards improving Nigeria's human capital outcomes. Additionally, the Hope Gov program will focus on governance reforms. The approval was made on September 26, 2024. And with that, we end the news at this hour. I am Eugenia Solomon. Keep watching Assets Television for more interesting programs and updates on news, of course. Also like and follow all our social media handles. Good evening and thanks for watching.
Welcome to Ascent Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sport and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Access